ladies and gentlemen. Bungle, hope you're doing well, and I hope you're having a great day today. We're going over Enlisted, the award free to play first-person shooter, much requested, much talked about. Hey, Bungle, talk about the Battle of Tunisia, the Grant Mark 1, Atlanta 2, the Gold Order vehicle that you can pick up for the Allies in the Battle of Tunisia campaign. Now, if you're watching this video, new viewer, possibly subscriber, maybe wondering, hey, Bungle, what do we do here on this channel? Well, I'll give you an overview, kind of telling you what are we reviewing today. Next, talk about the performance. Is it good? Is it bad? And lastly, is it worth it? So without further ado, let's begin. Start off with an overview. All right, so this is a medium tank. That's a Tanker 2 class. They have to pick up as you go through the Battle of Tunisia campaign for the Allies. They have to hit up roughly level 18 to unlock this. And keep in mind, once you get this unlocked, you get it to stock. When you get stock, you only have 3 crew members, and you need at least 4 to use both guns because this is a hybrid tank where you have a 75mm gun and you have a 37mm turret gun. So we'll move down here into the performance. All right, so first of all, you get a 75mm gun, which is kind of the main armament of this tank. It has a limited traverse based on how the Grant Mark 1 is built, and you also have a 37mm gun on top as your turret. So how this kind of works, and best practices to use, is you want to use a commander view. Using a commander view, you can fire both guns. If you switch to one gunner view, you're going to be firing one gun as well as with the other one. So the best way to do it is have your commander and control it so you can control the entire tank using the commander view, so you can fire the 75mm gun and the 37mm gun as well. So when you come in situations when you are engaging enemy tanks, then you can go switch to the gunner view for the 75mm gun, you can kind of get a good accurate range find on it. Then you can switch to the commander view and use a 75mm gun and a 37mm gun just to fire a lot of AP rounds into that vehicle. You also get a 30 caliber coaxial machine gun. So how does this perform? Well, honestly, this is probably one of the most fun tanks in Enlisted, just because it's basically a mobile battleship on the battlefield. Is it as maneuverable as a Crusader or an A-13? No. But what it makes up for in its lack of mobility is its firepower, and this is very, very deadly to the enemy team. It also has really kind of good armor, in my opinion. You can be able to take shots from a 45mm round from an Italian medium tank, as well as a 20mm armored car isn't going to do anything to you at all. So you have a very, very good survivability and protection using this vehicle, just at the cost of mobility. So moving down to it, is it worth it? And I'm going to say yes. It also depends on your playstyle. So if you like the A-13 and you kind of want like that mobility and move around the battlefield and harassing your enemies and everything like that, then yeah, you probably really won't like the Grant, just because the Grant is more slow and it's cumbersome, and it likes to get into positions where you kind of sit back and you fire and engage the enemy, right? It's not one of those tanks you want to drive right into the middle of combat and start engaging everything, because you're going to get taken out pretty quickly. But in my opinion, if you really like kind of like the mobile battleship style that this tank has, and as well as just having that fun capabilities of firing both guns at the same time, harassing the enemy and everything like that, I would consider picking it up. In my opinion, with Gold Order vehicles, the Grant Mark 1 you already get unlocked. If you get the T-50, if you get the Panzer 3J, you're a new player, for example, and you're starting the Battle of Moscow campaign, you get those tanks right away, right? You get the user Gold Order, you get them right away. Whereas you would have to grind all the way to the campaign level, I think it's like level 29 or something like that, to get these tanks unlocked. Whereas here, yeah, you already get the Grant by just grinding through the campaign level, right? Another example too is you look at the Axis in Battle of Tunisia. Yeah, they hit like level 29 or whatever, you get the Panzer 3J. And we both know that the tanks right now, especially for the Axis, are really, really bad. So if you hit level 18, you get to use the Panzer 3J right away, which is going to be an instant upgrade to all the other tanks that the Italians are using. If you really like the Grant, and you really like the gameplay, and you just want to fully max one out to save civil orders, consider picking them up. My opinion, I would just hold off and use the Gold Order for whatever campaign level you can find. They can get a higher tier vehicle for pretty much no cost. Other than that, if you're a new viewer and possibly new subscriber, I hope today is the day that I earned your subscription. Returning sub, return viewer, let me know what your thoughts. What do you think about this tank? Do you think it's fun? Do you think it's worth the Gold Order? Hopefully my explanation makes sense. You can understand my thought process when it comes to these Gold Orders. Other than that, I hope you all have a great day. Take care.